Everyone says the same thing. Just get organized, plan your week, track your goals, use Notion. And you've done that. You're more organized than half of Twitter. Today we're talking about why you feel stuck even with that perfect plan. If you built your system, set your goals, and you still feel overwhelmed, this is why. Here's the truth no one wants to say. It's not your plan, it's your execution system. You're over-optimizing the map and still walking in circles. And chasing that productivity high won't save you. The dopamine dies the soon distraction hits. And most creators have zero systems for what happens next. But I've built one. It's simple and repeatable, whether you're launching a product or finishing what you already started. So in this video, I'm breaking down the 5 clarity frameworks that I use to cut through chaos and start making actual moves. I'm Elabeh, and I've built execution systems for Fortune 500 tech giants, and now I help solopreneurs do the same without the corporate fluff. So let's get in. So you ever feel busy all day long, but nothing actually gets done? I'll call that the productivity tax. And this is where we move on to the fake work detector. Thing is, most of us play this thing called busy work bingo, where it's pretty much like you're tweaking the color or clearing up your emails, or you're probably on Google searching best mics under £100. It looks productive, but there's no real progress. I did pretty much the same thing where I was tweaking my product banner, thinking that I'm getting something valuable out of it. But then something hit. I decided just to release my email campaign, and that moment there, £40 dropped. That's where I felt like real progress actually happened. I spent time looking at things that truly mattered. And the thing is, it wasn't luck. I just prioritized impact over acting busy. And whenever I see these tasks pretty much come in and they look like the urgent task or something very important, I run these 3 sets of questions that will kill it if it isn't. And the first question that you always want to ask is, will it go live or get seen this week? Is someone going to actually see this thing that I'm posting? So it could be the video, a tweet, an email. Is this going to actually be seen? If not, it's probably something that's not important. You're not moving the needle. If no one's going to see it, what is the point of you putting effort into it? And with this question, it helps me think all the time. So like, if I'm just focusing on pointless things, sorting out my email folder, I'll probably just pause it there and then. The second question that is very important to ask is, would you pay someone £100 or dollars to do it right now? This one's brutal, but it's very effective. If I'm actually willing to pay someone £100 right now to do it, if the answer is no, then why am I putting too much energy to do it? We always tend to say like, we value our time, it's very precious, but what's sorting out your email folder is gonna do? Do you know what I mean? And the third question that I would ask myself, if I don't do this, is this going to put me in a legal predicament? Is it going to actually affect me negatively? This one's literally all about risk. If I don't do this today or tweaking this thing, am I actually going to get in trouble? If the answer is no, yet again, it's something that can be pushed aside. And when you start to realize and apply these questions, a lot of these urgent tasks are just loud, but they're definitely not important. There's other things that you can put your energy to. Here's the rule that I follow on these questions. If 2 out of 3 of these fail, I'll just park it on a limbo or do it later list. And then I'll end up focused on the thing that actually moves the needle. For example, sales page, a YouTube video, actually building the product. Sometimes I personally set like 60-minute timers to focus on these important tasks. Like, I don't really want to be focusing on these admin dopamine until the actual work is done. And the way you have to look at it is cutting these fake work is like freeing up RAM in your brain. You can actually allocate space for where the actual real work needs to be done. It's like your brain is juggling a lot of nonsense just to focus. But killing that busy work definitely means nothing if your focus beam is split like a disco ball. This moves us on to number 2, the side quest syndrome. How many times have you felt like you've been fighting 5 different bosses at the same time with even a half-bar life? Like, every idea would pop up into your head like, oh, let me make a new video, or I want to start a podcast, or wait, I want to start a course, but then there was that product that I wanted to build. You're playing 7 different games at the same time, and it's hard to actually narrow down on that one objective. I believe Warren Buffett once said to his pilot, write down 25 list of tasks that you want to complete. From that 25, cross 20 of them out and obsess over that 5. Ruthless, yes, but at the same time, I feel like it's genius, because them 20 that you crossed out, you're probably thinking they're not harmless, but they are. They're the real distraction. They're like probably close enough for you to feel like they're important, but at the same time, they're not that great for it to be moving the needle. Here's how to actually use that logic and not just nod your head. The first thing that you want to do is list down every single project, course, video, email, or anything that you want to work on. Literally everything. You want to dump all of it, however non-important or important you feel like it is, jot them all down. And step number 2, what you want to do after that is circle 1 or 2 out of the list that you've created that you really want to focus. Something that you know for sure, this quarter, if I do it, it will either put bank in my pocket or it will grow my audience. And this here would pretty much be your main quest. Like, you don't want to be circling more than 2. I feel like 1 is better because then you can actually narrow down on what you want to do. Step 3, label the rest not now. Seriously, literally, you want to put it in caps. You don't want to be deleting them. Just put them in quarantine. You can put them on a list in Trello, Notion. I personally use Notion. So I've got a list of idea votes or things that I wanted to do. It just goes in there. I can just come back to it after I finish my main quest. And the 4th thing that I actually do is I tell a friend, normally one of my closest friends, I'll tell them what I'm actually doing. This is what I'm doing. If I get distracted or I bring up a new idea that I'm trying to get involved in, slap me with a sticky note. Just get me out of this phase. Do you know what I'm saying? This is a bonus one. I personally do this. The thing that I always use and I go on is my phone. So I tend to actually change my wallpaper to the actual main quest that I'm going to be focusing on the week or the quarter. So then this allows me, like for example, look, let me show you my phone. Look, it could say YouTube because right now I want to focus on making YouTube videos. Every time I go on my phone, what am I going to say? It's going to say YouTube. So then it's just going to click in my brain and say, okay, whatever task that I might have been doing or going on was not really that important. So just get back on track. It doesn't have to be your wallpaper. If you know for sure that you're always going to be getting food from the fridge, put it on your fridge. Or if you got a whiteboard in your office, put it on your whiteboard, something that you're always going to see that's going to kind of click in your head and say, get back on track. And when your effort is single threaded, you're going to see it compound a lot. And this is how you create that feedback win loop, constantly doing things that is important, that number one thing that pushes you forward. But most solopreneurs or creators don't even realize they're on 5 different quests at the same time, probably because they've never actually mapped out their business. If you're not sure on what to pause and where to push your energy to, I've made a free tool called the Solo Business Clarity Map, where it pretty much helps you figure out what's holding your growth in what area of the business. Literally, no more second guessing. You're going to see the bottleneck straight away and then see where do I need to move and put my energy to. If you're interested, grab it below. It's built on Notion and it's totally free. Okay, you've got that one quest now, but you're definitely going to need that bunker where no distraction is going to breach the wall. This then moves us on to framework number 3, airplane mode hour. 1 notification, 23-minute recovery time. Multiply that probably by 5 or 6. Your brain never had a chance. This actually happened to me mid-edit once. I literally paused to check out a DM. I replied to the person, how the hell did I just waste 3 hours? It's already bedtime now. I couldn't edit. It just pushed everything back. That's why you definitely need airplane mode hours. It's not cute, it's literally survival. If you don't have it, you're gone. So let's build your fortress then. I've got this thing that's called the 90-minute flight blocks. And the way it goes is you basically set your departure time. So imagine you're saying you're flying out at 10 a.m. This is the time that you want to actually focus on getting that task completed. So then what do you want to do? You want to put your phone on exile, put that aside. You don't want to look at it. It might not even be your phone. It could be your PS5, whatever it is. Put it aside and exile it. And this point here, you want to focus on that one task, that main quest, which is the flight. So you're going to be focused on that one thing. And when it goes up, wheels up, that's when you're just solely focusing on that thing. In my opinion, this time here, that 90 block that you set out, you want to respect it. Anything that you know would distract you whilst you're in it, you could be going toilet, things like that will distract you. It's like turbulence. They're very annoying and you really want to avoid it. Then eventually the flight will land. And this is the time where you take your break, chill, check out the comms, see your messages. And personally, I like to take 3 of these type of flights where I actually put myself in dedicated time zones where I say, this time here, I'm literally solely focusing on this one thing. To me, this is not about hustle. It's about protecting your momentum. Like every time that you're flying out, in my opinion, I look at it like I'm forcing an output to come out. And from here, you're definitely going to be stopped thinking, where did all my time go? Because then you're going to realize it's actually being logged. You're actually progressing it in a very systematic way where you're saying, this time slot, I'm just focusing on point A or task A and nothing else. Honestly, airplane mode hours is the difference between noise and output. This moves us on to number 4, the perfect plan trap. Deep works are great unless you're still stuck on the wrong way. I've personally done this myself where I spent hours perfectly planning my content strategy or how I want to be posting. But then you've got Airbnb that was renting out their air mattress for £1,000 a month before they even had a business plan. They actually shipped, learned, then they scaled. And then I was kind of distracted with like tweaking my headers, thinking it's productivity, feeling like it. One's progress, and I feel like honestly the other one's literally performance cosplay. And the way I actually ended up fixing this is with the 4-hour plan and go. So let me explain it to you. So the first hour, you want to sketch out your route. You don't want to be building the whole GPS because we're just trying to get moving here. We're not pitching to no VCs or anything. So in that first hour, it just has to be enough where the plan itself is structuring the day. You don't want to be doing something where you're going to put yourself into a 9-hour, 6-hour rabbit hole. Have a quick skeleton of the things that you want to do. So in the second hour, you want to identify what is the thing that's going to be the first visible deliverables. What's the first thing that I'm going to publish that as soon as I ship it out, it's going to be real. This could be many things like drafting your landing page, a Loom walkthrough, or the cold email campaign that you want to publish. And then also in your 3 to 4 hours, so that gives you 2 hours, this is where you build a dirty draft. You don't want to be polishing it. You don't want to be making it perfect. You want to set yourself a timer. At the end of that 2 hours, make sure whatever is done, you publish it. Anything that is published is progress. But anything that's polished up in private, it's not going to get you anywhere. And you have to think about over planning it and getting to the finer details only useful if you see movement. You only get that real feedback once you actually put that thing to the real world. What's funny, this isn't a school project. Like, we're not graded for our neatness. Now that things are moving, but chaos keeps like creeping in and you're thinking, where's it coming from? Every week, unless you hit that reset button, you're always going to be falling back onto that same thing. So with that being said, we're going to move on to clarity number 5, the weekly reset ritual. And the way I see it, if you do not have a reset button at the end of the week, you're just going into the next week with all the workload and the problems from last week to the next week. So it's like having 14 different tabs open. Like, why didn't you close your tabs? And the way I like to have my Sunday 60-minute CEO meeting is the first thing that I do is I have a review. Start with a playback to understand your wins and losses. This is the first thing that you want to do. So here, you don't want it to be a fluff. You want it to be cold data. And the way you have to see it is progress isn't about how busy was your work. It's like, what actual tangible thing did you put out in the world? So for example, did you publish that sales page? That's a ship. So you said you were going to make a YouTube video, but then you realized you didn't write your script. That's definitely a slip. You want to list every single loss and wins. This here, you can put them side by side and understand, moving on to the next week, what are you improving on? The second thing that I always like to do is the dump. Empty out everything that's in your head. Every idea, content, to business, to task, any small or big, jot them all down. And when you're taking these notes and dumping it, you can use anything like Apple Notes, Notion, piece of paper, or even voice memos, but you just want to actually record it. So now after you've dumped everything in, this is the third step that you'll do, which is select. Here you choose one primary theme for the week, landing page, whatever it is. But this brings us back to the Buffett burn list and vault. This way you select that one main quest that you want to focus on throughout the week. Make sure you pick that one theme, because this is the thing that will be anchoring your whole week. Like, if there isn't a theme, that's when you'll start falling into that busy work bingo thing where you're going to be doing things that look like they're important, but they mean jack all. So after I've picked up my main quest, I start thinking about scheduling. When I start scheduling, I start looking at that main quest that I selected, and any task that's related to that, I'll put that in my calendar. Anything else is going into my vault. I'll focus on that after I get my main quest done. As a bonus, this is something that I personally do every time I'm doing my ritual resets. I want it to be exactly the same every single week. I want it to feel like if I don't do it, something did not go right. So I put the same vibe room, it's dimmed, I've got my hot drink, I'm in a blanket, and I'm just typing away. I know for sure if this doesn't happen, my week did not finish. I cannot go to sleep. Like, I'm gonna get a bit irritated when I'm in bed. So create that environment where if it's not set correctly, you can't complete it, because then it ensures every week you have to get it done. But you have to understand, with this ritual reset, this is the operating system under all of the tips and frameworks that I've mentioned. If this does not happen, there isn't a progress for the next week. You're just gonna fall under the same mistakes and errors that you had the previous week. It's important to realize consistency doesn't start on Monday morning. It actually starts the Sunday where you actually decide what you're gonna do. So let's zoom out. So now you've got your fake work detector, you've also got your main quest, a deep work bunker, a no fluff launch system, and a weekly reset that keeps you alive. This isn't a productivity hack, it is an execution system. Because the truth is, most creators don't fail because of lack of talent. They fail because of distraction, drift, and a dozen half-built ideas. It's really about momentum, what you can feel. Now it's your turn. What is that one step that you're going to start this week? Drop it in the comments. I want to see what that main quest is. And if this helped, hit the like button so more creators can start shipping. See you in the next one.